on WAMU FM.
Riverwalk is presented in stereo surround by Pacific Vista Productions and Texas Public Radio on PRI, Public Radio International.
Welcome to the Zaragoza Theater at Fiesta, Texas, San Antonio's own musical show park, a place to discover the spirit of this great state deep in the heart of Texas. This is Riverwalk, live from the landing, starring the Jim Cullum Jazz Band. I'm David Holt. Our show tonight is a classic battle of the bands, San Antonio versus New Orleans, starring, direct from New Orleans, Banu Gibson and the Hot Jazz. Fabulous tap dancing kid, Savion Glover. Star of stage, screen, and opera, our good friend William Warfield. And on our all-star bandstand, Jim Cullum on cornet. On clarinet, Brian Ogilvy. On trombone, Mike Pitsley. On piano, John Sheridan. Howard Elkins on banjo and guitar. On string bass, Don Mopson. And on drums, Ed Torres. The Jim Cullum Jazz Band. To begin our first annual Riverwalk Battle of the Bands, San Antonio versus New Orleans. Everybody knows that both the Crescent City and the Alamo City lay claim to beautiful riverwalks, great spicy cuisine, and the hottest of hot jazz. Both cities were even founded in the same year, 1718. But tonight, on the stage at the Zaragoza Theater here at Fiesta, Texas, Judgment Day is at hand. Tonight, only one will emerge the winner. Here with me to officiate the match is a man known throughout the world for his fairness, his balanced judgment, and his fine baritone voice. Please welcome William Warfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the contenders for the jazz heavyweight title of the world. In the corner on the left, weighing in at 1,394 pounds, hometown favorites, the Jim Cullum Jazz Band. And in the other corner on the right, weighing in 1,122 pounds, Banu Gibson and the Hot Jazz, direct from the city of jazz, New Orleans.
If the leaders of each band will now come forward for the official coin toss to start the competition. Mr. Warfield will now toss the coin. It's tails. The Jim Cullum Jazz Band kicks it off. the Jim Cullum Jazz Band with the New Orleans Stomp from the great King Oliver. The streets of New Orleans in the early 1900s were often the scene of bands battling it out, trying to blow each other down from the back of horse-drawn furniture wagons, pressed into service by the bands as a way to advertise their upcoming appearances. Here's William Warfield to tell you how it was in the words of the musicians who were there.
Trumpeter Wingy Manone told the story this way. Down the street in an old sideboard wagon would come the jazz band from one ballroom, and up the street in another sideboard wagon would come the band from another ballroom. Both bands had announced a dance for the same night at the same price. Those musicians played for all their worth because the band that pleased the crowd the most would be the one the whole crowd would go to hear later that night. The trombone players had to sit at the back of the wagon because the only way they could handle their slides was over the end of the wagon. And that's how they got the name tailgate trombones.
Yes, from New Orleans. Andrew Gibson and the New Orleans Hot Jazz. On trumpet, Duke Heitger. On clarinet, Tom Fisher. David Sager on trombone. David Boatinghouse on piano. Evan Dane on string bass. Jeff Hamilton on drums. A classic from the playing of Louis Armstrong called Weary Blues. New Orleans trombonist Kid Ory claims he was the first to mechanize his bandwagon. Says he beat out his competition because he had a motorized truck. But Johnny St. Cyr, who played guitar in many of the early New Orleans bands, and clarinetist George Lewis remembered the old days on the streets of New Orleans like this.
Jazz musician had to be a working class man, out in the open all the time, healthy and strong. That's what's wrong today with these new guys haven't got the force. They don't think they can play unless they're loaded. But a working man had the power to play hot, whiskey or no whiskey. Now, we used to go on parades in big horse-drawn wagons, and when two wagons met, there would be a cutting contest, a battle of the bands. One day we caught Buddy Pettit drunk, and our band really wore him out. The following Sunday, we drove up and saw Buddy sitting with his head hanging down, so we got set to go after his band again. And then somebody sneaked around and changed the wheel of our wagon to theirs so we couldn't get away. And Buddy jumped to his feet, and that day they really wore us out.
Yes, in the ring for San Antonio, the Jim Cullum Jazz Band with the Dipper Mouth Blues from King Oliver. Well, we've chained our bandwagons together here on stage, and there's no escaping now. Both bands are going to try to blow each other away on this tune. Now, for those of you listening on the radio, check it out. Coming from your speakers on the right, Banu Gibson and the New Orleans Hot Jazz. And from your speakers on the left, the Jim Cullum Jazz Band. Here they are in horn-to-horn combat on a tune written by New Orleans trombone player Santo Pecora, a number originally made famous by the New Orleans Rhythm Kings back in the 1920s. She's Crying for Me. This is Riverwalk, classic jazz across the alley from the Alamo. Made possible in part by Fiesta, Texas, a musical show park, a place to discover the spirit of the great state of Texas in San Antonio, and by our special Friends of Jazz. This is PRI, Public Radio International.
Riverwalk is coming to you here on listener-supported 88.5 FM WAMU Washington. Stay tuned at 11 for Stephen Sondheim guesting on Marion McPartland's Piano Jazz.
You know, thanks to you, our first pressing of Riverwalk's All-Star Jam live from New York on CD and audio cassette sold out in record time. But the good news is we've ordered more. So if you don't have this great recording of Riverwalk's New York show with Jim and the band, Dick Hyman, Doc Cheatham, and more, you can find out how to order by calling 1-800-41-RIVER. Get one for yourself or do a favor for a friend who hasn't discovered this great music yet. That's 1-800-41-RIVER.
Competition is hot in the world of jazz piano. The fine old tradition of cutting contests where two piano players try to outdo each other at the ivories reached a peak during the Harlem rent parties of the 20s and 30s. And we're going to recreate one of those days right here tonight.
Here's a two-piano tour de force from the great boogie-woogie duo Albert Ammons and Meade Lux Lewis. It's a number called Honky Tonk Train, named after the Illinois Central baggage cars that carried passengers back and forth between Chicago and the South in the 1920s and 30s. The only amenities were plank benches along the sides and an upright piano in the middle. Here's John Sheridan for San Antonio and David Boatinghouse for New Orleans, Honky Tonk Train. John Sheridan, David Boatinghouse, and two mighty hot pianos. Well, Banu, looks like you and Jim are running neck and neck in the overall competition. I see the judges in their wings scratching their heads.
Ah, it must be time for our secret weapon. As good as those guys in Jim's band may be, they can never win because we have a secret weapon they don't have. They don't have a chanteuse, a songbird, a female vocalist. Hey, yeah. Jim, didn't anyone ever tell you a jazz band's got to have a girl singer?
Girl singer, come on.
Well, wait a minute. I've heard you guys try to sing, but you got to have the moves to go with it. Now, here's a tune I learned from Mildred Bailey and Bessie Smith. This is called the Downhearted Blues. Gee, but it's hard to love someone when that someone don't love you. I'm so disgusted, downhearted too. I got the downhearted blues. Said once I had a man, he mistreated me all the time. But the next man I get has got to promise to be mine. Oh, my Lord, he mistreated me, robbed me from his door. Lord, he mistreated me, robbed me from his door. But the good book says you reap just what you sow. I got the world in a jug, Lord. I got the stopper in my hand. Lord, got the world in a jug, got the stopper in my hand. And if you wanna be mine, gotta come under my command. I tell you.
Okay, Banu, I get your message. I know women are supposed to be genetically superior to men. Mm-hmm. But just between you and me, anything you can do, I can do better. So you got a secret weapon, but we have our own heavy artillery. You may be a singer with all the right moves, but we've got a dancer. We've got a tap dancer. In fact, we've got the hottest young new dancer on Broadway. He's now on tour all over the country in Jelly's Last Jam, Savion Glover.
Savion and the band are going to pay tribute to one of the greatest tap dancing stars of all time, Bill Bojangles Robinson. Bill is the world's greatest tap dancer on Broadway in the 20s. Bojangles came up through the ranks of the vaudeville circuit and went on to fame in movies. Now, Savion, I know that Louis Armstrong always said that Bojangles Robinson was the best entertainer he ever saw in his life. What do you have to say about Bojangles?
I think he was one of the best. I also think he was the cleanest tap dancer ever.
You're a mighty clean dancer yourself.
Thanks.
In 1928, Bojangles Robinson had a hit with Doing the New Low Down in Lou Leslie's review, Blackbirds. Here's how it sounded in a recording with the Don Redman Orchestra.
Listen, good folks, make 'em play that crazy thing again. I got to do that lazy swing again. Hi-ho, doing the new low down. Got my feet to misbehaving now. Got a soul that's not for saving now. Hi-ho, doing the new low down. That dancing demon, he has my feet in a trance. 'Cause when I'm dreaming, folks, I go right into that dance. Once you hear that haunting strain to it, I bet my life you'll go insane to it. Hi-ho, doing the new low down.
Savion Glover, from 1928 to 1994, starting out with the great Bojangles Robinson, then live from Fiesta, Texas with Savion Glover and the Jim Cullum Jazz Band.
Foul, foul, no fair. Now, wait a minute. We demand equal time. Savion has to teach me how to tap dance. Can't be that hard.
Not hard. You can't learn to tap dance in just a couple of minutes. It takes a lifetime of hard work, and you got to practice.
No,
I don't think it's a good idea that you might hurt yourself.
Listen, I can give her a lesson, no problem. Okay, Banu. The most important thing to remember in tap dance is this. Once you get this, that's all you really need to know.
Okay.
Ready for your first lesson?
Yes.
Here it is.
Okay.
This is your right foot.
Yeah.
This is your left foot.
Yeah, that's it?
That's it. That's all you need to know.
I think I need another lesson.
Okay, sure. Okay, pick up your right foot and go tap, tap, tap.
That's it?
Yeah.
Say, that's easy.
Now just do it with both feet and you can tap.
Just do it with both feet. Okay. Do it with both feet.
I think she's got it.
Yeah, talk about a ringer.
No fair, Banu, no fair. You already knew how to tap.
No.
You've been putting us on.
No. Savion's just this great teacher, and he just taught me how to do that. Matter of fact, I'll show you what he taught me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. you're feeling low down, 'cause the skies are gray, just wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. Dance your cares away. Oh, give old gloom the low down, and he'll be on his way. Just wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. And dance your cares away. Now Savion's here to teach you all how to make your life a song. Just keep on knocking on wood with your feet, and you can't go wrong. Next time you're in trouble, you'll turn out okay. Just wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. Okay, Samuel, let's see what you got. Show me your stuff.
You take it.
You take it.
All right.
Uh-oh.
You take it.
Whoa, look at Banu go. Her feet never leave her legs. I wish you folks could see this at home. I didn't know she could do handsprings, cartwheels. It's unbelievable.
Now Samuel's here to teach you all how to make your life a song. Just keep on knocking on wood with your feet, and you can't go wrong. Next time you're in trouble, you'll turn out okay. Just wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. Lord, I'm gonna give you one more chance. Wrap your cares in rhythm and dance. He wrapped his cares in rhythm and oh how we danced.
Banu Gibson, Savion Glover, and the New Orleans Hot Jazz with Wrap Your Cares in Rhythm and Dance. From the repertoire of the legendary tap dancing Nicholas Brothers. This is Riverwalk, classic jazz live from Fiesta, Texas, San Antonio's own musical show park, brought to you in part by the San Antonio Convention and Visitors Bureau. You know, San Antonio has almost become my second hometown. I always look forward to coming back, and one of my favorite things to do when I come to town is walk along the shady, tree-lined Riverwalk to the San Antonio's lively Mexican market, El Mercado. It's filled with colorful crafts and terrific food and music. Will Rogers, the great homespun philosopher, called San Antonio one of only 4 truly unique American cities. And I travel all over the country all the time, and I'd say I have to agree with him. Now, if you'd like to find out more about planning your next vacation in San Antonio, the number to call is 1-800-THE-ALAMO. That's 1-800-THEALAMO. And to receive your free vacation kit, the number to call is 1-800-THE-ALAMO. San Antonio is the place to visit for great jazz and a whole lot more. This is PRI, Public Radio International.
Riverwalk's coming to you here on 88.5 FM, WAMU Washington. Marion McPartland follows at 11.
Hey, Jim, looks like Banu stole your secret weapon. How are you going to make a comeback from that routine she did with Savion?
Well, I got to admit, that wasn't bad. Underhanded, but not bad. But we've got another secret weapon, and we've been keeping this one under lock and key. Hey, Banu, you think we should have a singer? How about a star of the Metropolitan Opera, star of Broadway and the movies, and he's a Grammy Award winner. You can't top this guy, William Warfield.
Here's William Warfield with a classic from the music of W.C. Handy, a tune called Long Gone.
Did you ever hear the story of Long John Dean? All bank robber from Bowling Green was sent to the jailhouse yesterday. Late last night he made a getaway. He's long gone from Kentucky, long gone. Ain't he lucky? Long gone, and what I mean, he's long gone from Bowling Green. Long John stood on the railroad tie, waiting for a freight train to come by. Freight train came just a puffing and flying. All to see Long John grabbing that ride. He's long gone from Kentucky, long gone. Ain't he lucky? Long gone, that's what I mean. He's long gone from Bowling Green. They offered a reward to bring him back, even put bloodhounds on his track. Doggone bloodhounds lost their scent. Now nobody knows when Long John went. They caught him in Frisco, and to seal his fate at San Quentin, they jailed him one evening late. But out on the ocean, John did escape, cause the guards forgot to close the Golden Gate. He's long gone from Kentucky, long gone. Ain't he lucky? Long gone, that's what I mean. He's long gone from there. A gang of men tried to capture Dean, so they chased him with a submarine. Gene jumped overboard, grabbed the submarine, and made that gang catch a flying machine. He's long gone from Kentucky, long gone. Ain't he lucky? Long gone, that's what I mean. He's long gone from Bowling Green. He's long gone from Bowling Green.
William Warfield with the Jim Cullum Jazz Band. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the judges have just thrown up their hands in despair. They can't decide between these two great bands, so we're into the final playoff. One more tune from each band. Banu, here's your chance to sway the vote. Why don't you hit them with a little good old Delta blues?
Dixie moonlight, Swanee shore, I'm headed homebound just once more to my Mississippi Delta home. Southland has a grand garden spot, whether you believe or not. I hear those breezes whispering, come back to me. Muddy water around my feet, muddy water in the street. That's God's own shelter. Down by the Delta, muddy water in my shoes, just feeling rocking to them low-down blues. They're living ease and comfort down there. Take Claire, I've been away a year today.
Yeah, Banu Gibson and the New Orleans Hot Jazz with Muddy Water. Okay, Jim, this is it.
Well, here's a piece by the great saxophonist Benny Carter. He's still playing great in his 80s. He came here to appear on one of our Riverwalk shows, and he brought us this tune he wrote way back in 1933. It's called Crazy Capers.
joined the band with Crazy Capers. Well, folks, there's been a heated discussion among the judges backstage, and in fact, it appears that they've taken their decision-making process out the back door and into the alley. So it looks like it's up to you, the audience, to make the final decision. Fire up the applause-o-meter. Are you ready? Is the applause-o-meter set?
Yep, David, it's ready to go.
Okay, first let's hear it for Banu and the New Orleans Hot Jazz. And now for the Jim Cullum Jazz Band. And the winner is, oh, the applause-o-meter never lies. Oh, I don't believe it. It's a draw. We'll have to schedule a rematch next year. Same time, same place. Thanks for joining us, and special thanks to Banu Gibson and the New Orleans Hot Jazz, and the legendary William Orfield, and the incredible tap dancing Savion Glover. Catch him in Jelly's Last Jam, on tour now all around the country.
Carolina gave us Dinah. There's no sweeter one beneath the Dixie sun. News is spreading about a wedding. I hear church bells ringing. That is why my heart keeps singing. Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is and you know her, show her to me, my Dinah. With her Dixie eyes blazing, how I love to sit and gaze in to the eyes of Dinah Lee. Why, every night, why do I shake with fright? Because my Dinah might change her mind about me. Yes, Dinah, if she wanted to China, I'd hop an ocean liner just to be with Dinah Lee.
I'm David Holt. Riverwalk Live from the Landing is produced by Pacific Vista Productions, Margaret Pick and Lynn Cruz with Jim Cullum. Line producer Bill Celaya. Technical direction by Malcolm Harper. Real sound recording with Greg Klingon Smith and Gordon Garrison. Post-production by Ed Green.